It was a quiet Thursday evening when everything cracked. Not shattered all at once. No dramatic explosion, no screaming match. Just a slow, cold break. Like ice splitting under your feet when you didn't even know you were standing on thin water. My name is Carla Jensen. I'm 68 years old, and up until that night, I believed one thing with my whole heart. Family is everything. Turns out, I was the only one playing by that rule. I was in my kitchen, humming to myself, stirring a pot of chicken soup, the kind my son Ryan used to beg for when he was a kid. "Mom, this is the good stuff," he'd say, grinning, wiping his mouth with his sleeve. Back when I was his whole world. Funny how that changes. My phone buzzed on the counter. Ryan. I smiled immediately. Didn't matter how old he got, seeing his name still made my heart lift. "Hey, baby," I answered. A pause, then a voice, not his. It was Chloe, my daughter-in-law. "Carla, hey, quick heads up. We got married yesterday." I blinked. "What?" "Yeah, it was kinda last minute, super small, just close people." I felt my grip tighten on the phone. "I don't understand. Married? Yesterday?" Ryan didn't say anything. She let out a little laugh. "Oh, we didn't want to make it a whole thing. You know, just special people." Special. That word hit different. Cold, sharp, like it had an edge. I swallowed. "And I'm not special?" Silence. Not even an apology. Then Ryan finally came on the line. "Mom, don't make this weird. Don't make this weird." I stood there in my own kitchen, staring at the wall, feeling like the ground just tilted under me. "I'm your mother," I said quietly. "I know," he replied, "but it was just easier this way." Easier, right. Because including the woman who raised you is just too much work. After the call ended, I didn't cry. Not right away. I just stood there. The soup burned. The house felt different. Empty, but not the peaceful kind. The kind that echoes. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being a parent. You don't realize the moment you become optional. There's no announcement, no warning. One day, you're everything. Next day, you're an inconvenience. For 3 years before that call, I had been their safety net. Actually, scratch that. I wasn't a safety net. I was the whole damn trampoline. Rent, I covered it. Groceries, always stocked. New couch, car repair, emergency bills. We're a little short this month money? That was me, every single time. I told myself it was love. Turns out, it was enabling. I had even helped pay for Chloe's wedding dress. $800. She said it was for something simple. Guess it was simple enough to not include me. A week later, my phone rang again. Chloe. Different tone this time. Soft. Urgent. Almost shaky. "Carla, we're in trouble." I leaned back in my chair. Didn't say anything. "The rent's late. The landlord's threatening eviction." Still silence. "You didn't send the transfer this month." There it was. Not, "How are you?" Not, "We're sorry." Straight to business. I took a slow breath. "Chloe," I said, calm as ice, "I thought you said you only wanted special people in your life." Dead quiet. "Carla, that's not what I meant." "No, I think it is." My voice didn't shake. Not this time. "So handle it. You've got each other, right?" I hung up, and something inside me settled, like a switch flipped. For the first time in years, I wasn't reacting. I was deciding. The next morning, I walked into my bank. Mr. Alvarez, the branch manager, looked up and smiled. "Morning, Carla. Usual transfer day?" "Not anymore," I said. He paused. "I want to cancel every automatic payment going to my son." He blinked. "Everything?" "Everything." He studied my face for a second, then nodded. "All right, let's take care of it." As he processed the cancellations, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Ryan, Chloe, Ryan again. Ignored, ignored, ignored. For once, I wasn't available on demand. And let me tell you, that felt powerful. When I got home, there were 2 cars in my driveway. Ryan's, Chloe's, of course. They always showed up when the money stopped. I walked inside. No knocking, no permission. They were already there, sitting in my living room like they owned it. "Mom, what the hell is going on?" Ryan snapped. Straight to anger. No, hi. No, are you okay? Just panic, dressed as attitude. "You cut us off?" Chloe added, arms crossed. I set my purse down calmly. "Yes." Ryan laughed, but it wasn't funny. "You can't just do that." I looked at him, really looked, the man he had become. "Watch me." Chloe stepped forward. "Carla, we have bills, responsibilities." I nodded. "So do I." Ryan threw his hands up. "Yeah, but you've always helped." "Exactly," I said. "Helped. Not funded your entire life." Silence. Then Chloe tried a different angle. Soft voice. Fake concern. "Are you okay? Because this isn't like you." There it was. The setup. Ryan jumped in. "We're actually worried about you, Mom." Worried. Funny how concern shows up when the cash disappears. Then Ryan dropped it. "We think you might need help managing your finances." I blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" Chloe grabbed a folder from the table. "We talked to a lawyer." A lawyer. Of course they did. "There's this thing called power of attorney," she said. "It would just help us make decisions for you. For me, with my money, my life." I stared at the papers, then at them, and suddenly, it all made sense. This wasn't about concern. This was about control. I picked up the folder, flipped through it slowly. Then I smiled. Not a nice smile, the kind that makes people uncomfortable. "You cut me out of your wedding," I said. They shifted, uneasy. "And now you want to cut me out of my own life?" Ryan sighed. "Mom, you're overreacting." That word, overreacting. Classic, minimize, dismiss, control. I tore the papers in half, right down the middle, then again and again, let the pieces fall to the floor. And I looked Chloe dead in the eye. "You removed me from your biggest day." My voice was steady, cold. "So I'm returning the favor." I pointed to the door. "I'm removing you from my life." Ryan's face went pale. "You don't mean that." "Oh, I do," Chloe scoffed. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said. "I'm being done. Get out." No yelling, no chaos, just final. They stood there for a second, waiting for me to crack. I didn't. So they left. That night, I sat in silence, but it wasn't heavy. It was clean, like fresh air after a storm. The next few weeks were strange, quiet, but good. I started doing things for me. Long walks, lunch with old friends, even signed up for a painting class. Something I hadn't done in decades because I was too busy funding someone else's life. Ryan kept calling, texts too. "Mom, please. We need to talk." "I'm sorry." But I didn't rush. Because apologies without change? That's just manipulation with better wording. 3 months later, I got a call. Ryan again. This time, I answered. "Mom." His voice was different, tired. "Chloe left." I didn't react. She said it was too much. The stress, the money, everything. I nodded to myself. Yeah, that happens when reality hits. Silence. "I messed up, Mom." I closed my eyes. "I know. I should have never treated you like that. You shouldn't have." Another pause. "Can we fix this?" There it was. The question. The hope. I took a deep breath. "You're my son," I said. "That doesn't change." Relief in his voice. "Okay, so..." But I cut in. "What we had, that version of us, it's gone." Silence. "You broke that." "I know." "I forgive you," I said softly. But forgiveness doesn't mean access. He didn't argue, didn't push. I think, for the first time, he understood. After the call, I stepped outside. Sun was setting, sky painted in orange and gold. I leaned on the railing and smiled. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Sometimes the people who walk out of your life are the ones who were holding you back the most. They cut me out of their wedding, so I cut them out of my life. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of respect for myself. And if there's one thing I've learned at 68, it's this. You can love people deeply and still choose yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live your life. So you better make sure you're not just surviving it, you're owning it.